very dog.
Qbert, released by Gottlieb in 1982, this game was the result of a collaboration by three key individuals. We had Warren Davis, who was the main creator and game programmer for Qbert. We also had Jeff Lee, who did the graphics and created all the characters that's seen in the game, and David Thiel, who did all the sound effects, including the voice synthesis that you hear at the beginning of the game and also at the end of the game, including the swearing that Qbert does. Control was done by a four-way joystick that was kind of placed at a 45-degree angle. Basically, you didn't go north, south, east, and west like you would with Pac-Man. Instead, you would go at 45-degree angles to those four compass points. It took a little getting used to, but once you started playing the game, it became pretty much intuitive after a little bit. Another interesting tidbit of information about Qbert is originally when it was first released, the name of the game was not Qbert. It was actually the name of the saying that Qbert would do when he got caught by an enemy or he would get hit on the head by one of the balls. It was decided that how would somebody remember the name of a game that you couldn't even pronounce? So that marquee was dropped, and they went to the marquee you see today that says Qbert. Another interesting feature of this arcade game is the distinctive thump that occurs when Coily or Qbert falls off the side of the pyramid. This was actually an idea of one of the technicians that was working at Gottlieb by the name of Rick Tye. Rick Tye worked with Warren Davis on perfecting the thumping sound to where they thought it sounded authentic enough to put into the game. This feature can also be turned off via a dip switch. Now let's take a look at some of the characters in this game. Of course, we have Qbert. This is the character you'll be controlling in the game as you hop down the pyramid, try and change the pyramid squares from one color to the other. Then we have Slick and Sam. Slick and Sam like to appear at the very top of the maze and hop down the squares and change them back to the previous color that Qbert has already been on. You can defeat these two guys by actually jumping on them to stop them. Then we have a green ball that'll appear on the screen every once in a while. If you actually hop on this green ball, it freezes all enemies on the screen for a brief period of time. You also will see these round discs that have a rainbow color on them. These are escape platforms for Qbert. If Qbert finds himself caught in a corner of the pyramid and one of these platforms are close and enemies are closing in on him, he can actually jump on this platform to get away. Platforms always take you to the very top of the pyramid, and you start from the top all over again. Now for Coily. Coily is a snake that initially appears on the screen as a purple ball. He'll go to the very bottom square and hatch. Once he hatches, he'll start bouncing around the screen trying to come after you. He'll pursue you like you will not believe. If you actually get him towards the edge of the screen and you hop on one of your escape platforms, he'll leap off to the side, and you'll have to respawn all over again. So it gives you a little extra time to get through the pyramid. Of course, you have the purple and red ball. Those, if you get hit by those, actually takes a life away. Then you have Wrong Way and Ugg. These guys will appear on the pyramid and hop around randomly, and they're kind of off on the side of the pyramid, so it's kind of interesting to try to avoid these guys at the same time as you're trying to avoid Coily. Now let's take a look at an actual arcade game being played. This game is located at the Timeline Arcade in Hanover, Pennsylvania. Now let's take a closer look at the arcade gameplay. Now on this first screen, you can tell what color you need to change the cubes to. In the upper left-hand corner, you'll see a little square with arrows pointing to it. took one of the escape platforms. Of course, Coley wasn't close enough to the edge of the screen to actually fall off that time. Try again here. There he goes. Splat. There's one of the red balls you got to avoid. And there's Coley's egg. Oh. Alright, there's Ugg and Wrong Way. As you can see, they're on the maze at like a 90-degree angle to what you're hopping on. And of course, anytime you use one of those platforms, all the enemies disappeared. Oh. There's the green dot that freezes all the enemies, if I would actually catch it. And an extra life. Oh, and I lost my extra life. Okay, there's the green dot again, green ball. There we go. Now, as the levels progress, it gets harder and harder to fill in all the boxes. As you can see here, you gotta hit the box twice to get the colors to change to the target color. And right there is Sam. As you can see, he changes the colors back as he hops down the pyramid. Oh. Now let's take a look at some of the various ports of Qbert. First up is the Atari 2600 version. Not a bad port of the game. Here's the Atari 5200 version. The Intellivision Systems version. Qbert on the ColecoVision. A lot of fun this version is. Here's a version of Qbert on the Game Boy. And here's the version of Qbert on the NES, which is a very, very good port of the game. Here's Qbert 3 on the Super Nintendo. And here it is on the Dreamcast. Well, that was Qbert, another great arcade game from the early 80s. A lot of fun to play, very unique. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching.